OGaccountability.com.
And we're back. We're back. We just got done talking about Morgan Freeman.
Hallelujah.
National treasure. I would love to just sit down and talk to that guy for a couple hours.
I would just, yeah, for sure. But he has to talk 90% of the time.
Absolutely.
For me to be happy.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
The world was changing.
If you could interview anybody alive right now, like if anybody would accept your invitation, who would you love to get in here?
There's probably two. Like it'd be a toss-up. Tyson Neal, the scientist guy.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Tyson Neal deGrasse, is that his name? He's a space fascinates me.
Okay.
And especially when it comes to time and different things like that. I would love to sit down and pick that guy's brain. The other person, it's hard because like it would have to be on topics, but he would be one that I would just love. And then probably Benjamin Netanyahu.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
I would love to really get his outlook, and if he could be candid and not necessarily for anybody to hear, but really get his thoughts and his outtake on what they want and how they could do it. Because hearing throughout the years ago, Gershwin Solomon and I don't want to get into but yeah, I better not get into that because that can be some fiery darts. I'd love to talk to Trump, dude.
That would be cool, huh?
I've been fascinated with Trump since I was a kid, so it has nothing to do with him being president.
From Art of the Deal?
Yeah, and everybody loved him until he became president. Bunch of turncoats.
Yeah, it's
bunch of liars. Rappers loved him. Everybody.
Oh,
Oprah loved him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And suddenly
People on
he's
The
trash.
View and all that. Yeah. That's crazy how that turned around.
Yeah, and if people don't see what
nobody ever called him racist like before that.
Exactly. And now he's misogynist, racist. I love it when oh my God, Charlie Kirk goes out and asks people, well, what is the definition of misogyny? And people can't even give a definition. They're just.
Can you spell misogyny?
Yeah, no. M-Y and some letters.
Yeah.
But people are just regurgitating what they've heard.
Yeah, talking points.
And I do understand that's a lot in life. We just regurgitate what we've heard. Let's take that to church. I've got people you talk to and they're like, well, pastor said, and it's like, well, that's great. Pastor said that. Did you go study it on your own?
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't have time. So let me get this straight. When you found out about COVID, you studied everything about it. When you found out about the purses going on sale, Dooney and Burke and Coach and all that stuff, you look up what's real, how to spot a fake, all this different stuff. But when it comes to your salvation and your God, you won't even take the time to read it.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Why do you think culture we do that so often?
We're lazy. This is the information super age. If we just read it on Google, that must be it.
Must be the truth.
Whoever controls the information is going to control you. If I reach for that candy, you got full permission. Yeah, I'm going to have one.
Oh, he's doing it.
I'm doing it.
He's doing it.
But I grab multiples.
There's more Bluebell in there.
I can't do the ice cream, bro. I was up at 2 a.m. Of course, I shared with Jake. I woke up sick to my stomach from the ice cream. And then I forgot to close the gate at our church. So at 2 a.m, I load up my gun and went and checked on the snowboards.
That's so funny. Were they there?
They're still there.
Oh my!
And ended up shutting the gate. And I dreamed last night.
Did you?
So
is that normal or
no? I haven't dreamed really very often in 10 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. I never get into a deep enough sleep.
Okay.
So
makes sense.
Shared with you the past 3 nights. In at least 5 years, I had to take medication for spinal cord injuries. I take medication, not sleeping medicine, but just helps your body relax due to my injuries. I toss and turn a lot. I haven't taken it. And
it's amazing.
I feel better. I've got great sleep, which doesn't happen a lot. And
until you ate the ice cream.
It was the ice cream.
My Lord. But you had a dream.
I had a dream.
Do you remember what it was?
Oh, I do.
Do you? So it was vivid.
It was very vivid.
Okay.
And it wasn't a good dream.
Oh, it wasn't?
It wasn't a good dream. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And, but yeah, I had a dream. I still remember it very well. But that's something people need to understand. Sometimes you deal with people and you think they're jerks. You never know what they're dealing with, even if they look healthy. To me, I look somewhat healthy, so people don't realize I have some debilitating injuries, and I deal very well with them, and I'm very good at not letting people know how I feel, even when I'm hurting. Not everybody. To people that are like in my inner circle, I'll be like, man, I'm having a bad day.
Yeah. And if they know you well enough, they'll know.
They'll know.
Yeah.
You know, but when you haven't slept well in a long time, sometimes it's hard to, you just don't have time for the BS of things. You know, when people are giving you the runaround, you're just like, dude, I don't have time for this. Just like, you know, what's that old saying? Yeah, I better not use that one. Yeah, I'll use it. Don't pee on me and tell me it's raining or whatever, or spit on me and tell me I can't remember. You know, don't jerk me around. Just give me the facts as soon as you can, because my brain is trying to compute. And then when I went through my hormone levels getting off, bro, I had such brain fog. I would forget everything. I'd go golfing. I'd leave my golf shoes at home, my golf balls, my wallet. It was just ridiculous. And then, you know, we're to the age now, men, you need to go get your hormones checked. Women, women are more apt to take care of themselves than men. Because men have that macho, I'm fine, I cut my finger off and glued it back on. Well, yeah, you can't use your finger now, bro. Good job. Yeah. You're tough. You're real tough. But, you know, we were talking about coming through life and the learning process and telling younger people or maybe even older people. I think age is not a fix. I've shared this so many times. If you are 25 years old and you have a lying problem and you don't address it, you just become a 45-year-old liar, a 65-year-old liar, and you've got to face it. Remember those? I used to say this when I was a youth pastor all the time. Remember that head-on headache medicine? You rolled it on your head. Yeah. Head-on, applied directly to the forehead. Yeah. That's how you got to face problems. All about that. You got to face them head-on. If you lollygag with things that you have problems with, they just get bigger and bigger. And I can say that with authority because there's some things in my life I've had to overcome, and they're nobody's business. That, you know, and that's our, see, there must be some bad things in his life. Well, ding, ding, ding. Guess what? There's bad things in everybody's life. Some of us are just better at hiding it. But there's a lot of things that I had to overcome, so I can speak in authority when it comes to those things because I overcame them. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have to overcome them again in the future and deal with them.
You've experienced them.
I've experienced
them.
So
you have some equity.
Absolutely. And you've had some experience. Jake played football, NCAA football player. Wasn't just he was the captain, quarterback. Can I start calling you El Capitan?
El Capitan, man.
El Capitan.
I always think of the Tom Hanks movie, Captain Phillips. Look at me. Look at me. Now. I am the captain now.
That's right, dude.
So funny.
I've never even seen that movie, but I know that scene.
Oh, man. Loved it. Loved it.
So you played NCAA football, and you kind of try to downplay it, and you're like, well,
yeah, I played 1 year.
That's 1 year
of a D3
That's
college.
1 year more than 99% of the people will ever play.
And that's true. And I'm so thankful for it. Yeah. Learned so much.
Don't downplay it, man. That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've got a friend down in sometimes I can upplay it too much because I'm like, yeah, I played college football.
Well, you did, man. I would.
But then I get down to I get to Orlando, and a good friend of mine, his name's Alex. We met, or actually, he and my wife both go to the same school. It was amazing how they somehow like connected because they met. Now she's really good friends with his wife Trinity, and I'm really good friends with him, Alex. But anyway, so we get together. We're in fact, we just wanted to go get some coffee just to get to know each other. You know, who are you? How did you get to Orlando? How did we get to Orlando? But we walk in, and well, this is a long story, but I ended up finding out that he played college football, and he played at a I think it was a D2 school.
One upper.
Yeah, right? So he's already better than me. And then I've come to find out he's on the if you look back on that season, the All-American list, he made the All-American team.
Oh, wow.
And guess who else made the All-American team that year?
Jake Lazar.
No, sir. Oh. Tyreek Hill.
Really?
Yes.
So he's on that same list.
Yes.
Wow.
So impressive. I'm immediately like, well, I'm not going to tell him about my football resume. You know, but anyway, but I am thankful for the opportunity.
It's a great resume, dude.
Learned a
great resume. So I took Jake around here in Texas. You know, you've been to Texas, but you haven't been around a lot of places. So you saw our high school football stadiums, and you're like, what in the world?
Incredible, incredible, huge. Some of them were, they were almost as big as my college stadium. Yeah. Incredible.
Times are changing a little bit, only because culture has changed so much. But 15, 20 years ago, football in Texas was like a religion.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, that's changing?
it is due to the fact that, and I think it's a good thing,
Really?
there is such emphasis on a lot of different things. Like football was now, bands are just as popular as the football team. You know, the marching band, like Texas A&M. Texas A&M lost for years, but their band never did.
See, I would have never.
And when their band comes onto the field, the only time you ever sit down at an A&M game
Is when they're playing?
is when the opposing team's band plays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so there's so many. Bass fishing has caught on now. Bass fishing is huge. Schools allow these kids to leave school, go out on boats, and go bass
Are
fishing
you
in tournaments.
serious?
So there's so many different sports now. Soccer's become big. We don't have swimming at our school, but a lot of schools swimming. You know, there's so many outlets. Tennis, and not just people playing. I'm talking about people excelling,
Wow.
like doing very well. And now you have preparation, like all these big sports facilities that have popped up, so that kids can get extracurricular training outside of school. You know, and so it's really opened up for a broad spectrum for a lot of kids that don't play football. And, you know, for a long time, it was always the football players that got all the notoriety and were like the kings of the high school, you know.
Yeah.
It's kind of silly when you think about it.
Yeah, it is silly.
You know, think about it. You have a 4.0 GPA, but I can throw this ball.
Wow.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And
It's so stupid when you think about it.
it's like I used to tell my nephews, I said, you know what you call the kids with 4.0 GPAs? And they're like, what? And I'm like, boss.
Yeah, that's so true. That's so
you
true.
call them boss.
That's so true.
And so I do like that it's changing. But yeah, we got some very big stadiums. And
Yeah.
those were smaller compared to some of the ones down south. I mean, they are.
It's so funny you say down south. I'm like, how much further can we go?
Well, I was going to take Jake to Galveston. But Jake
I would have loved it.
Jake is in Florida now. And we have chocolate milk for water and clay beaches, and they have nice blue water and white sandy beaches. I'm so glad I didn't take you.
We're an hour from Cocoa.
Yeah, you'd have been like, "What lake is this?"
What lake? Why is it that the east coast of Texas is like it is, but the west coast of Florida is stunning?
And you know,
Same body of water.
And you know what's funny? If you head 3 hours south down to like San Padre or South Padre, nice beaches and the water's a little clearer.
Is that right? Does it have to do with drilling?
That, or maybe the way Galveston Bay is shaped, everything kind of washes into Galveston Bay, because every now and then the sand doesn't change, but every now and then we have clear water come up, clear for us, and the beaches will be so full, and it'll be all over the news. Clear waters come to Galveston, and you can get like, I've been in it to where it's like knee, thigh deep, and I can see my feet.
Okay, and that's not normal.
No, normally it's like I'm ankle deep and I can't see my feet.
Wow.
Yeah. Hence, I don't get in a lot.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
And also, I have friends that I can show you pictures where they're catching like 8 and 10 foot sharks
Oh,
right where everybody's swimming.
No.
I don't do sharks.
I'm out.
So like when I go to I really don't Cancun a lot, but we used to do a lot of cruises. When the water's clear and you can see, man, I'm all about it.
Okay,
Put
because you
me
can
in.
see what's coming.
Yeah. And if I'm going to get bit, at least I want to brace for it.
Man,
I don't want it to be a surprise.
I feel you.
I want a fighting chance.
Yeah. We were playing volleyball when I was in high school down in Tampa, Florida, kind of like the Clearwater area,
Beautiful.
Madeira area. And yeah, we loved it. Went there every year. My grandparents would go and like rent these condos. It was so cool. So cool. Especially as a kid, you're like, oh, my family's
Amazing.
rich.
We
You know?
rich.
And so we would go, and it was so much fun. The whole family got together. We loved it. So we're out there playing volleyball one day, and all of a sudden the shore becomes crowded with people. And we're all like, we're there all the time. That we don't ever see this happen. Everybody's like staring towards the water, and we're wondering what's going on. And then I start noticing people going like this.
Some kid getting eaten.
Well, I didn't know. Nobody knew, but nobody was panicking. They were all just looking. So we all stopped the volleyball game. We run out to the shore. We're looking, and I'm still not seeing everything, and everybody's talking and looking. And I don't know, I'm young and dumb. I go out in the water.
Oh, Lord.
Because I'm like, well, what are we looking at? Because I don't see anything. So I go out. I try to get closer to see what the hubbub is about. And I get out there and I'm not seeing anything. And then I look south, and all of a sudden I see these 3 big blobs coming up right in my direction. And I'm probably a little over waist deep in. And so they're coming towards me, and they're huge. You know, underwater, everything is pretty like distorted and everything. Yeah. But from what it looked like, they looked like 3 feet wide, 6 feet long. And I'm thinking, oh, Lord. And I begin to backpedal, and they're coming right towards me, man. But as they're getting closer and as I'm getting more afraid, I noticed I don't see like a fin. So it's not a shark. I don't think it's a shark. So and then they start kind of rounding off a little bit. So then I stop. And I get up a little bit closer, come to see these gigantic manatees.
Oh, yeah.
Just going
the
right
cows
in
of
front
the
me.
ocean.
Oh, it was so cool. I wanted so badly just to jump on one of them, you know?
So I went to Florida, and I learned about the manatees being the cows of the ocean. I had no clue. I just always thought that just meant there were some big ladies swimming, you know? I'm going to eat another. I'm going to eat this and shut up. So right now, we're heading to PCB, and I've got this little deal on my phone. Do you know how many great white sharks are around Florida right now?
I do not know.
A lot.
There's an app that tells you that?
They have them tracked, and they know right where they're at.
Wait, what app is this?
Don't go to Florida app.
Yeah, I guess.
It's not an app. It's a website. I'll send it to you.
I would love that because
that's frightening, and I'm not scared to get in the water, but I will tell you one of the only fears I have, like true fear. My biggest fear is missing God's calling and burning in hell.
Yeah, for sure.
My second fear is open water and sharks. Have you ever seen open water?
No,
or
I did not. Or Jaws. I've never watched those.
Jaws, Jaws didn't do much to me. Open water did.
Okay.
And, I know this is going to sound horrible.
I did see that. Is that where there's like one surfer or
2 scuba divers and they get left? They count wrong and the boat leaves them and they're stuck miles and miles just floating in the water.
Oh, it sounds horrifying.
And
I did not see that.
Here come the sharks. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I would have to take this up with God.
Okay.
If I knew I was about to get eaten alive, I would swim down about 30 feet and I'd look at the shark and I'd go, you ain't going to eat me alive.
Oh, man.
Heck no.
That sounds so terrifying.
It's horrible. It's horrid.
Oh, no.
I'm getting the sweats just thinking
I think
about
my heart rate's increasing.
Yeah. That really is a fear of mine. That true fear.
I understand.
And like I go on cruises and stuff like that. I'm not fearful of that, but I'm like, if I was ever in true open water, just floating, man, I mean, for hours and hours. What about that guy that fell off the aircraft carrier and he used his pants as a flotation device for, I think, 36 hours and they finally found him?
They did?
Yeah.
No way. He survived.
He survived.
Using his pants.
Using his pants. You can use your pants as a flotation device.
Really?
You tie off the feet. It'll let you float for about 2 to 3 minutes. So he had to do it over and over again. Once your pants get wet and you tie them off and you can pull a tight knot, you take them up full of air, roll up the waist, and then you just lay on it and float until the air dissipates out, and then you just keep doing it over and over again.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Talk about the will to survive to do that for 36 hours.
That's a lot of refills.
And when we talk about fears are real, man. Like I had to tell my nephews this. One time we were in Florida, and we stayed at this awesome resort, but there was this kid there that was afraid of water, and some of the kids were laughing at him, making fun of him, like pushing him. Don't ever do that if that's a real person's fear. They will hurt you. They will That's why somebody who's truly drowning and fearful, if you try to save them, a lot of times they drown the person trying to
save them.
Yeah, because they are so scared. A real fear you don't mess with. And I'm not talking about like, I have a fear of ketchup. I mean like a real fear.
Yeah.
Like people who are truly afraid of dogs and you laugh and you let your dog out. No, they really are afraid, and they will hurt that dog or you if they can. And so don't really ever mess with anybody and their fears. Now, trauma produces fear. So some of the things I've been through, and I can use I'm an open book. I can use this as an example. Sometimes fears aren't real. It's like when I was little. I knew the boogeyman was real. I knew he was under my bed waiting to grab me. So much so when I got off my bed, I would jump off, and when I got on, I would run and jump on to where he couldn't grab me. I knew he was real. It was a real fear. And then one day I'm like, wait, I know thousands of people, all these adults. The boogeyman's never got one of them because he's not real. And I realize it's not real. But in relationship, there's a little bit of fears that pop up that sometimes, I was dating a lady, and just something happened, and just for a split second, I'm like, because that, I just got up and walked off. I'm like, nope, I'm out of here. And then I spend some time to myself. I'm like, wait a second.
Why did I respond that way?
I'm producing that there's not really an issue here. This is me. And then I have to come back and, hey, I'm sorry. Secondly, that was big on my part to recognize that. That's how you know you've healed somewhat, because you can recognize that. But if you're in a relationship, friendship with somebody, and you really know they have a real fear in this place, how you know somebody cares for you? They don't coddle your fears. They just reaffirm, hey, you're feeling this way, and I understand it's because of some trauma. That's not what's going on. And
so validating
why
they're feeling that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Validation goes a long ways.
Yeah. So I believe that.
You can validate people in the smallest ways, even just with a smile and like, hey, how are you? And true validation, I tell you what, it's a gift to learn how to brighten people's lives through validation. Even if somebody's just somebody who opens your door or is serving you at a restaurant, and learning to meet people and validation doesn't have to be you're doing a good job. I can just validate that, hey, you're a human being and I see you.
Yeah. Or I understand why you feel that way.
Absolutely.
I can totally understand why you feel that way.
And then also we need to learn not to validate when we don't have any clue what we're talking about. We do that in our human nature though. Like, oh, I understand. I get that. Yeah, I get it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Man. And I think that carries over to having the answers for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Or wanting to fix things. I learned, my wife and I went to marriage counseling.
Oh, y'all had problems?
Bro, it's so funny, the misconception on that. It's great. Like we were full-time ministers, pastoring, leading several ministries, and we went to marriage counseling. And a part of me was concerned that somebody might think we're having issues or we're unstable. But dude, bro, Olympic athletes have coaches.
Yes, I do.
Michael Jordan had a coach.
Tiger Woods,
Patrick Mahomes. Pick your person. Even the best singers, they have coaches. So anyway, so we're with our therapist, and I learned so much from her. She was awesome. I think a lot of guys are afraid of marriage counseling because they think that the counselor or the therapist is going to take the side of the wife,
especially if it's a
beat
woman.
Up the guy, yeah. But our therapist, her name's Wendy Muska. Wendy Muska, find her on social media. She rocks.
I'll put her name up there, Wendy Muska.
Yeah, she is awesome.
Awesome. She's there in Florida or in Wisconsin?
No, she's in Wisconsin.
Okay,
but she's fantastic and super practical. She's a champion of men. She loves and respects men. She empowers men, and anyway, she's wonderful. But I learned so much from her, and one of the things was instead of trying to, and you hear this all the time, as men we're fixers, but she's like, it's good that you want to fix things, but sit with your wife in her feelings and validate her feelings. You don't have to agree, you don't have to make any you don't have to fix anything. Just try to understand why she feels that way, and then allow her to feel that way, and then you can work on the things a little bit later. But just validate the feeling. And for whatever reason, that was just like mind blowing to me.
And really, a lot of times, I believe, I hope people listening, if anybody's listening, they may have turned us off at Sharks.
Open waters.
That I think a lot of times arguments happen and disagreements happen and blowups, not over the issue. It's over not feeling heard or understood. And validating. I had an argument with this woman, and she kept, I don't know why I said it like that, a woman, and she's like, you keep repeating yourself. I'm like, Because you've never looked at me one time when I'm talking to you.
Because I don't know that you're understanding what I'm saying. I'm having to repeat myself.
You are receiving what I'm saying how you want to receive it, and I'm not saying it how you're taking it.
Man, and that makes a man feel disrespected.
That pisses a man off.
Yes.
Yeah, it does. You want to piss a guy off, but guess what? Women are, oh my God. This guy said it. We're going to find him.
Yeah. OG over there.
Women are masters at the silent treatment. And what a woman needs to understand, when you give a man a silent treatment and you do that over and over again, you are teaching a man not to talk to you.
Yes. That's the opposite.
And guess what? Some little hussy at work, some little gomer.
These gomers, man.
We had a gomer show up to my back door.
Yeah,
not for me. Not for me.
Not for me either.
Not for him.
For Roman.
The neighbor dog's in heat. And, I'm trying to keep my dogs separated. And she comes to my back door and just sits on my back door and stares through.
Just ropes Roman in.
Like, hey.
I see you.
Yeah.
Validation.
So,
my pastor told us when we were first in premarital counseling, and I'll never forget this, and I've used this when I do premarital counseling, is what is the opposite of love? Everybody says hate. Exactly. It's not.
Mm-mm.
So he told us the opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is indifference. It's not caring. It's being detached. It's apathy.
Yeah.
It's when you walk in the room, it's like that is the opposite of love. Because hate actually reveals that you love the person or the thing. It's just you're so enraged about it because you love it so much.
Yeah.
But indifference, apathy, not caring, it's like there's no love there.
There's no. So
and
the
that's
silence.
a dangerous.
It's a
place
dangerous
to get.
treatment.
Yeah.
So I got a clip, and I'll try to put it on here. I'll try to add it to this, but it's a woman comedian, and she may be a pastor, and she's got this deep. My friend Macy sent me this deep Southern accent. And
Wait, is she the Hispanic girl?
No.
Okay.
This is a real tall, blonde-headed lady, got a deep Southern accent. He said, ladies, let me tell you something. I always treat my husband well because I realize if I don't, some whore at his work. And she's being honest.
Okay, the 5 love languages. All right. Me and Chuck Morgan in Sunday school class went on a retreat. And they talked to us about the 5 love languages. And it's written by little Gary Chapman, who is a doll and tiny and does... That man's probably getting in his 90s, and he does sit-ups every day. And that little thing, and I got to meet him later. He was a doll. But anyway, the 5 love languages, if you don't know about that, you've got to get it. There was a 5 love languages for your marriage, and then there's one for your children. And you need to get that. Everybody's got a love language. And you take the test. You got to read the book and take the test. Well, you don't read the book. I didn't. But you can take the test. I like to read books about Hollywood murder. So, anyway, you take the test, and then and your husband takes the test, and you find out what his love language is, and he finds out what your love language is. And if you find that out, then you can feed them their love language. And then, so I can feed Chuck Morgan his love language, and then his love tank feels full. If I don't, he could go to work and be at a water fountain, and some whore comes up to him and starts feeding him his love language, and then he feels a tingle.
Yeah.
If you're not women dating, if you're not giving your equal, your counterpart the attention they need, and I'm not talking about in one day.
Yeah, right.
Like, oh, she wasn't nice to me.
It's over a long period of time.
They call them home wreckers on both sides of the fence, men or women. There's always a guy that's going to know better, and I would never do that to you, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm going to say something. It's going to be bad. It's going to be bad.
Uh-oh.
It's the truth, bro.
Duck.
It's going to be the truth.
Say it.
A shoulder to cry on. How do I say this nicely? I'm going to rephrase. A shoulder to cry on becomes a bed to lay in.
Wow.
And I'm saying that very G-rated because the way I heard it from a pastor was very differently.
Wow.
A shoulder to cry on becomes a bed to lay in. So women, men, when you're at the gym or you're at work and like, my wife does this and that, and
beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean you can't find somebody to talk to, but you got to go through the proper channels. You got to find the lady like you were talking about, the Wendy Muska.
Yeah.
You know, and then suddenly you find yourself encapsulated with that attention, and you're not getting that attention at home, and they start giving you that attention. It happens all the time. And guess what? Most men and most women really, genuinely, truly are sorry after they make that mistake. They're like, what was I thinking?
Yes.
So holding affection and holding attention is the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do, men can take it. If you're married to a real man, you can say, hey, you know what, baby? I love you to death, but I am pissed at you right now. Yeah. Let's put this on the shelf right now. Let's watch Roadhouse, and we'll pick this up later instead of, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
do
talk.
it. Talk.
Talk it out.
Talking is an art.
Yes.
You know, if and
listening
is a bigger
an
art. Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I need to send you that clip though. It's hilarious.
Yeah,
the way
you
she
should.
says it too. She's like, some whore
Yeah.
at my husband's work.
You know, I think those outlets that you said, by the way, that phrase is amazing. The shoulders you cry on will become beds you lay in.
Yeah.
That's such a good point.
I
you said
already
something
trademarked
about
that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were talking about we should have an outlet someplace to talk to, I couldn't agree with that more. And I think it reminded me of when you were saying earlier, maybe it was in the last recording, when you were talking about when you get married, when you say I do, you're actually saying I don't to a bunch of other things. Yeah. It's like my wife and I, we just agree together, even from the very beginning. We knew that when we got married, we were saying I don't to relationships with the opposite sex. Like deep friendships with the opposite sex. I have 0 female friends that I have heart-to-hearts with. And some people maybe differ with me on that. But for me personally, I don't need that in any other females.
I never had one close girlfriend that we didn't come on to each other when I was single. Think about that.
Wait, say that again.
I've never had one close girlfriend, maybe one, like we were friends since we were like 5 years old. Yeah. But I have not had one close girlfriend that when we were both single, we didn't try to date each other. Think about that. Right? Or we've been hanging out like we had for years, and then like, hey, you look pretty good, and you start kissing and stuff, and you're like, wait a second, what are we doing? I thought we were friends. So let's throw. Okay,
it's so controversial though.
And hey, guys,
apparently
you can lie to your wives. Let's not lie to each other. No.
Right.
Just let's be realistic.
Yeah.
Well, that's my best friend, and we've been friends. Have you ever given him the opportunity?
Man.
Give him the opportunity and find out you're friends. You really are friends.
Yeah.
But is that me or you?
That's me.
That's you.
Yeah.
Tell you what, man. Let's go ahead and take. I want to leave some room because I want to put that lady. She says it so good, and it really is true. If you would protect your relationships and even your friendships, I'm a firm believer. I want to be friends with people that hold my hands up when I'm not in a room. Mm.
Yeah.
And I want to be, and I will tell you this. I believe that as I've gotten older, the ladies that I have dated, I've treated very well. And I have had some of the ladies that I've dated, and I've dated a lot, but only one or two like I really cared about. But they would tell their friends how good I am to them, and I would get messages from their friends.
Wow.
I think it's so sweet how you do this, this, and this. And I'm like, I don't even know you. Why are you
They become references for future.
Yeah. And not on my on purpose. I have not one of my ex-girlfriend's friends, I have not one of their numbers saved in my phone. Not one. Not one. I've never done it. When I was married to my wife for all those years, I did not have one of her girlfriend's numbers in my phone. Because I wasn't with my wife so I can be buddies with her girlfriends.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. As men, don't we just want to hang out? If we're going to hang out with anybody that's not our wife, don't we want to hang out with our boys?
Yeah. So I'd come home if her girlfriend's home. I'd be like, hey, guys, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all need me to do anything? Okay, I'll be in the garage. I'm going to go build something, Yeah. I'm not going to come sit down and spill the tea with the ladies.
Yeah, for
Familiarity breeds contempt, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no offense, but I would just rather hang out with dudes.
Same here. I go play golf, bro.
Yeah. I want to go to the gym with my buddies.
Yeah.
I want to watch a game with my friend, I don't know, man.
And the lady I was in a serious relationship with, she works with all men, so that's weird. That's her.
Whoa.
That is really weird. That is insane.
That's awesome.
Freaking Delilah.
Better take a break and get
Yeah.
back to it.